My name's Maurice, and you're watching the Maurice Lagon channel. Look guys, can I be honest with you for a minute? Being an adult is tiring. Sometimes I wish I can go back to a time when I was a kid and I would turn on the TV, go to Disney Channel, and hear that familiar 4-note jingle, followed by the most iconic Disney bumpers like,
"Hi, I'm Raven from That's So Raven, and you're watching Disney Channel."
and then the Disney Channel wand IDs. Harry Potter who, am I right? The glowing wands held by your favorite actors when they awkwardly traced out the Mickey Mouse ears on screen, sometimes off center, sometimes they just weren't even drawing the right things. I'm pretty sure there's a video out there of someone who made what they were actually drawing. Oh, but when that song came on, this is my jam. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. That almost brought a tear to my eye. You knew that this song meant one thing, and that it was time for a Disney Channel original movie, baby. If you grew up anytime between the late 90s and the early 2000s, DCOMs weren't just something you watch, they were an event, a movement, a full-blown pop culture moment that dominated our Friday and Saturday nights for years. When there was a premiere, there was a premiere. I literally remember where I was standing in my home when High School Musical first premiered. These weren't the kind of movies you just stumbled into. You made plans around them. You knew the release dates because they were promoting the movies months ahead of time. You saw the commercials 200 times during the week, and you sang the theme song before it even aired. You feel like you knew the storyline, and you knew the characters and knew the movies when it finally appeared. It felt like your version of Blockbuster. Yeah, one thing Disney had down pat was their marketing on the channel. Because Disney Channel didn't have any commercials, they just basically promote their own content. When something was coming out, they would have it on Disney 365.
Disney 365! Hey everyone, with all the info on all things Disney, 365 days a year, and with the Jonas Brothers.
I think it was like previously called Disney 411, and I remember being upset that they changed the name from 411 to 365, but 365 is catchy, it is what it is. This show was basically their ads to promote upcoming releases for music or shows or events going on at Disney parks. There was also a Mike's Super Short Show where Mike and his little sister talk about the upcoming titles being released on DVD. It's crazy that Disney Channel didn't have any ads, but everything between the shows was basically an ad for either Disney parks or another way for you to buy their content like DVDs and stuff, which is so different from any other channels that are basically supported by ads and sponsors. Essentially, Disney Channel itself was the ad for Disney parks and their other content. Okay, got a bit distracted here. But during all of this, it was considered, at least to me and a lot of other people, the golden age of Disney Channel original movies. And we're gonna talk about exactly why it hit so hard. So let's get started with the beginning.
Wraps. The spirit of the mummy may be freed by the purity of the full moon and loosened to walk the earth.
And he's walking your way on Disney.
That's a mummy! Cool! What are we gonna call him? How about Harold?
And it's up to these 3 kids to help him find his way back home.
We don't have much time, right, Harold?
Under Wraps, tonight at 8, 7 Central, only on Disney Channel.
If we're gonna talk about DCOMs, I'm obliged that we have to talk about the first DCOM there ever was, which is Under Wraps, which released in 1997. Under Wraps is a Halloween-themed story about a group of friends who discover a friendly mummy. In this movie, an ancient Egyptian mummy comes back to life, and it's up to a horror movie fan named Marshall and his friends Amy and Gilbert to basically get him back to the sarcophagus so his soul isn't lost forever. Yeah, crazy plot, right? Apparently, they did a remake in 2021. I've never heard of it, but then again, I don't watch Disney Channel anymore. I'm not gonna lie, looking at this trailer, it's a little weird, but I can see how it's fun. It set the tone for what Disney was trying to do, take traditional genres like horror, sci-fi, or coming of age and kind of make them completely digestible for kids. Now, I don't know if it's the nostalgia goggles talking, but something about these videos really made me appreciate the good old days of Disney. Something about these movies, I mean, they just had I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. They just had it. Everything was so simple back then. The movies premiered, and the day after, or maybe the next Monday, depending on when it premiered, you were talking about it with your friends at school about the movie, or you were like me and have a three-way call with your friends as you're watching the movie. Under Wraps kicked off an unstoppable streak of movies that, for over a decade, absolutely defined a generation. But also, if we're gonna talk about classic Disney movies, we have to talk about Halloweentown.
Saturday, October 17th on Magical World of Disney. Marty Cromwell's family can't be normal.
Why?
Because her grandmother's a witch.
Totally.
And she lives in Halloweentown, where it's Halloween all the time.
Halloween is cool.
Well, battling an evil shadow creature is just not normal.
Oh, big normal is vastly overrated.
Find out more about Marty Cromwell's family's strange powers.
Powers? What powers?
In the Saturday premiere of Disney's original movie, Halloweentown. Saturday, October 17th on Magical World of Disney. Movies at 7, 6 Central.
Halloweentown, the first one, was released in 1998. Marnie Piper finds out that she's from a long line of witches, and she gets whisked away into a town where it's Halloween every day. A young boy's dream, am I right? Witches, goblins, skeletons, but all wrapped in this cozy, magical vibe. It starred Kimberly J. Brown, who had the every kid charm, and Debbie Reynolds, who added the classic Hollywood glow to the movie. It's not even a question. Halloweentown became a seasonal classic. Rewatching it every October was basically a tradition, and the fact that it spawned 3 sequels, there was a Halloweentown, Halloweentown 2, Calabar's Revenge, Halloweentown High, and then there was a Return to Halloweentown, but like the main character girl was different and she was in college now, so many people don't really like the Return to Halloweentown, but these movies were mainstays for probably 10 or more years after they released. You knew that every October you could look forward to Halloweentown marathons, and that says everything. But next up, we're going to talk about Brink.
Tonight, catch a Disney Channel original movie, Brink.
Oh yes, a massive come-out grab.
Andy Brinker and his friends all have one thing on their mind.
Sweet.
To these guys, life moves pretty fast. They're over the top and on the edge of everything.
Yeah, man.
But these kids aren't just getting through life.
Yes.
They're taking it to the brink.
900, that's 2.5 rotations in the air.
Brace yourself for Disney Channel's original movie, Brink. Tonight at 7:30, 6:30 Central, followed by Airborne, part of Zoom Weekends.
Leave it to Disney to make a movie about a sport you never heard of at the time or even cared about a little bit to turn you into a diehard fan. You want peak 90s energy? This was it. Rollerblading, spiky hair, baggy pants, and the battle between soul skaters and corporate sellouts. Andy Brinker skated because he loved it. Not for some fame or not for the money, just for the soul of it.
Both skaters just flying down the course neck and neck. Talk, whoever can be the most aerodynamic is going to start to pull away. 42.5 miles per hour, that is a new course record.
This movie had lessons about loyalty, integrity, and staying true to yourself, all wrapped up in the backdrop of an aggressive inline skating movie. Many of these movies were about, being you and loving who you are and doing what you enjoy. And as a kid, that was powerful. I'm sure that many kids who did rollerblading or skateboarding and stuff like that, it felt like the coolest thing on earth for them. A movie about a thing I do? Remember Motocross, the movie about a girl who pretends to be her brother to race in motocross? Kind of sounds like that Amanda Bynes movie, She's the Man. Despite the fact that her father finds her unsuited for the sport, being that she's just a girl, when her twin brother Andrew dislocates his knee just before the big race, well, their father is forced to go out in Europe and find a replacement rider. In the meantime, Andrea secretly races in Andrew's place with her mother's help. Anyway, now's not the time to dive into motocross. We gotta zoom into the future and talk about Zenon.
Saturday at 7, 6 Central. It's the Saturday premiere of Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
Let's rock and roll!
Disney's latest original movie stars a far-out teenager who's the center of her own universe. Living on a space station can be hectic major.
Gotta lift off. It's a micro moment.
Especially when you have to stop a corporate fiend from destroying your home.
Pressure major or what?
It's the Saturday premiere of Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century. She's one galactic gal who saves the day in a stellar way. Premieres Saturday at 7, 6 Central.
Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century, released in 1999, and was actually based on a book by the same name written by Marilyn Sattler and Roger Bolin. The film was originally conceived as a pilot for a potential television series, but then they decided to kind of make it into a movie, and the film was the first under the Disney Channel original movie banner to actually produce a sequel, also known as Zenon the Sequel, the Zequel. in 2001. The third and final installment was also produced, and it was called Zenon Z3, of course, in 2004. The movie follows Zenon Carr, a teenage girl living in outer space. I'm talking about like space station schools, holograms, asteroid fields, full-on futurism, and still having to deal with like mean girls in detention. This movie wasn't just futuristic, it was fashion forward. Neon space buns, metallic jackets, and a whole lot of synthetic fabric. And don't get me started on the music.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
You know what I think is crazy about these movies that take place in the future day is seeing like how realistic they end up being. Like Back to the Future, they end up going to 2015, I believe, which is 10 years ago for us. So it's kind of weird to watch a movie where they go to the future, but now it's the past to us. But Zenon took place in 2049. So we still have to wait another 24 years to see if it ends up being pretty accurate. Schools in space, I don't know. That could possibly be a thing.
Next, check out Pat. She's the house of the future, and she can do it all. The Disney Channel original movie, Smart House, is coming up next.
Bonjour, I'm Julia Crampon. And I'm Léa François from Disney Channel Friends. We're here in Paris at one of our local markets to find in season vegetable for vegetable casserole called ratatouille. I love ratatouille. Great. First we need sweet onions, plum tomatoes, and eggplant.
I love vegetables.
We also need zucchini.
I love zucchini.
And red bell pepper.
I love.
We know, red bell pepper. Julien, it's not a red bell pepper, it's a spicy pepper. And if we put it in the ratatouille, it will be too spicy to eat.
Oops. But if I use it to make salsa, it'll be perfect. Don't worry, I'll make something you'll like too, as long as you carry the basket, which I'm gonna fill right here at my local market with fresh and seasoned vegetables. Heavy yet?
To find out more about eating in season, get your parents' permission, and you can go to disneychannel.com/passtheplate.
Let's get back to the Disney Channel original movie, Smart House.
Then there was Smart House, and honestly, this might have been a little too ahead of its time at the time. Smart House was released in 1999 and is damn near 80% accurate to how houses are today in 2025. I mean, we have smart vacuum cleaners, smart toasters. I don't want my toaster to be smart. I don't want my toaster to think. I just wanted to think about making toast. Basically, a teen wins a fully automated smart home, and the AI running the house, called Pat, is voiced by Katie Seagal. Yeah, we have, Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, but this model was tuned directly for the home. I believe there was even one scene where the AI assistant draws blood from the little girl. I could be wrong.
Ow! You didn't tell me that thing was gonna bite me.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's just Pat's way of getting to know you.
Angie Cooper, age 9, 52 inches tall, 62 pounds.
Which is totally standard because, all of our smart appliances, of course, we have to give a blood sacrifice. That's standard. That's in the contract. The premise is like evil ChatGPT runs everything in your home. And yes, evil ChatGPT is real. In the movie, Pat basically becomes an overbearing helicopter mom from hell, kind of like that episode of Jimmy Neutron where he made a robot mom to replace his real mom. Pat locks the family in, controls everything, and tries to parent like it's 1950. It was equal parts hilarious and terrifying. Looking back at it, it predicted our current home assistant, maybe not as evil yet, but with the rise of AI, there is still that existential fear that comes with, too much tech in your home. Not every DCOM was sci-fi or fantasy. Some went straight up for the heart, and The Color of Friendship is a perfect example of that.
Maury wanted to see America. Piper wanted to host an African exchange student. And against the odds, they formed a friendship. Celebrate two girls' strength and courage in The Color of Friendship, coming up next.
This movie was they covered American racism, South African apartheid, and even friendship. Yeah, it was released in 2000, but the events in the movie take place in 1977. Two girls from opposite sides of the world come together and change each other's lives for the better? Young white girl named Marie lives with apartheid South Africa with her wealthy family. And then we have Piper, the daughter of a black US congressman in Washington, D.C. They prepare to welcome Marie to the US for a semester abroad when Marie Marie meets her host family, and she's surprised to find out that they're black. And equally, Piper is stunned that Marie is white, because I think they hear like, we're getting an exchange student from Africa, and she assumed it was going to be a black girl. They each question each own's assumption and are forced to confront their assumptions and biases of each other. Oh, and did I mention this is based on a true story? Yeah, it's based on a true story. Bro, did y'all remember in this movie the scene? Like that scene? It was thoughtful, it was bold, and it didn't water things down for kids on a kids channel to tackle racism, prejudice, and cultural ignorance, and do it with grace. I mean, that was huge.
That embassy felt like a prison, and outside it was like a war zone. Police, demonstrators, phones ringing off the hook. I was so glad to get out of there. Can I come visit you? Visit me? What are you talking about? I'm here. No, I mean when you go back home. Yeah, sure. I still don't know what all that craziness was about. Stephen Biko. Yeah, Biko. Who cares? Just some crazy terrorist who killed himself.
Anyone who knows right from wrong would care. And Biko didn't kill himself. The police killed him.
Who told you that?
The whole world knows it. Just turn on the news. The South African police beat him and tried to hide it when he died. Pigs!
The police are not pigs! My father is not a pig!
Oh yeah? Then why don't you ask him how Biko died?
I don't have to ask him! This Biko was a common criminal. You Americans would call him a thug.
Well, whatever you want to call him, he was a man fighting for justice.
The movie won an Emmy for Outstanding Children's Program, and it deserved it. It was definitely thought-provoking, but under it all, a story of friendship. Now let's talk about Cadet Kelly, one of the most rewatchable DCOMs ever. I mean, out of the ones on my list, it is probably one of my favorites. It's definitely up there.
She was a teenage fashion queen.
What do you think? I like it. It's very bridal.
Until her family moved her out of the city.
Military school? I'm not going.
And into a uniform. Now, if she wants to fit in, she'll have to get her hands a little dirty.
Oh, did you break a nail?
Hilary Duff and Christy Carlson Romano.
Cadet Kelly.
Hilary Duff plays a free-spirited, artsy teen who's forced to attend her stepdad's military academy as the clumsiest, most clueless recruit ever to be in basic training. Because, well, she was kind of forced to be there. Kelly is fighting an uphill battle to just fit in. But can Kelly prove she's tougher than her by-the-books commanding officer and leave her own mark on the school? Christy Carlson Romano, who's the voice of Kim Possible, plays her no-nonsense by-the-books counterpart and commanding officer. And the tension, immaculate, amazing. I feel like this movie is like Legally Blonde, but for military school. And also Kelly was just forced to attend the military academy. But I still say it's like Legally Blonde in the fact that like a very girly girl joins what many people take serious and she doesn't. And then she ends up adding her own flair and personality to things, which in turn wins people over. And in the end, she becomes very good at whatever goal they're trying to achieve. In this case, it is winning the drill team competition, which has some legendary and amazing scenes in the end of the movie. In the beginning, Kelly has trouble fitting in and obeying the orders of the officer above her, especially Cadet Captain Jennifer Stone, who is the Christy Carlson Romano character, who does have a crush on Cadet Major Brad Rigby. But the love triangle shows itself when Kelly feels drawn to Brad instantly and starts competing with Captain Stone for his attention. Stone does not treat Kelly well, verbally abusing her by calling her maggot and destroying her personal belongings. I mean, it's one of those things where you're wondering if she just doesn't like her, or if she's disciplining her, or if she's just jealous because she's trying to take her man. They have this kind of dance battle scene in the middle of the movie, and then they kind of make up and kiss and whatever, and then everything works out well. Yeah, I left out a lot of detail. If you want to go watch the movie, I highly recommend you watch Cadet Kelly. I think it's on Disney Plus. You should go watch it. It was one of the most premiered Disney Channel original movies at the time, pulling in over 7 million viewers. But this was just a warm-up for these next heavy hitters. 7 million was nothing compared to some of these next ones. Because in 2003, Disney Channel dropped a cultural reset disguised as a DCOM.
Tomorrow.
Friends help friends make their dream come true.
4 friends
Cheetah!
will get one shot
We could be grabbing Grammys.
to show their spots.
Welcome to the world of a true artist.
A Disney Channel original movie starring Raven Simone, Sabrina Bryan, Keely Williams, and Adrienne Bailon. The Cheetah Girls, tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Disney Channel.
It's Cheetah-licious.
And this is where Disney said, oh, you thought we were just doing movies? Nah, we're doing movements, we're doing songs, hits, dancing. Set in the heart of New York City, the Cheetah Girls follow 4 teens, Galleria, played by Raven-Symoné of That's So Raven fame, Chanel, Aqua, and Dorinda, as they chase their dream of becoming pop stars. And we weren't just watching a movie, we were watching the blueprint. These girls had style, vocals, drama, and most importantly, certified chart-worthy bops. Cinderella, basically a feminist anthem in disguise. No shade, I love feminist anthems. That's really all I listen to. I only listen to feminist anthems. But Cheetah Sisters, Ride or Die friendship ballad that still hits 2 decades later. This was Disney's first foray into like a musical style DCOM, and it was an instant smash hit. The impact was immediate. I feel like the girls in school, like in our school, were trying to make their own pop groups immediately after this movie premiered, literally calling themselves the Leopard Ladies. Like, that doesn't hit the same. Cut it out. Anyway, yeah, Cheetah Girls like influenced girls everywhere to start dressing like honorary Cheetah Girls, like head to toe with animal print, glitter, eyeshadow, rhinestones, bandanas, and like iconic velour tracksuits that said, you know, I have homeroom in 20 minutes, but also I headline Madison Square Garden later at 6 p.m. The Cheetah Girls were just like characters. They were aspirations for people, girls specifically, who wanted to be them or at least borrow their wardrobe. But this wasn't just fashion, it was also representation. For many kids, this was the first time seeing black and brown girls leading a Disney movie. Not as sidekicks, not as the comic relief, but as stars. I think a lot of people compared the Cheetah Girls to Bratz dolls also. Wasn't the Cheetah Girls print also like actually end up being like leopard skin? Anyway, they were allowed to be confident, ambitious, messy, emotional, and stylish all at once. That mattered. It still does, especially in the sequel. I think that might have been the more popular than the first. Disney knew they had lightning in a bottle with this one, so they continued to try and chase the dragon, and so they did. They franchised it. The Cheetah Girls 2 in 2006 took the drama international with a glamorous trip to Barcelona. Barcelona? Yeah, there was this new music, new boys, new sequins, the stakes were higher, the friendships were tested, and the outfits still styling. Strut like you meet Amigas Cheetahs. They were instant classics, and honestly, the rooftop performance scene deserves to be in a museum somewhere. I don't know. Then came Cheetah Girls One World in 2008, which was set in India, featuring Bollywood influences and even more girl group growing pains. This one didn't have Raven in it, so to me it felt a little weird. I don't know. She was a major character, I felt like, but the legacy was intact. Strong girls chasing dreams and singing their hearts while doing it. So yes, I truly believe Cheetah Girls walk so movies like High School Musical could sprint down the hallway with a basketball and get their head in the game. But don't get it twisted. Before Troy and Gabriella, there were the 4 fierce girls harmonizing in Times Square. So High School Musical, let's talk about it.
And what team? At East High, jocks rule the school.
When's the big game?
2 weeks.
You are so dedicated. Just like me.
Until 2 students.
We didn't even audition. We were just singing.
From totally different worlds.
Our team is coming apart because of your singing thing.
Show everyone that they're all in this together. Disney Channel's original movie, High School Musical. Tonight at 7 on Disney Channel.
All right, we're entering the megastar tier of Disney Channel original movies now. I'm talking about Troy Bolton, the golden boy jock of East High, and Gabriella Montez, the shy brainiac new girl with a voice like an apparent Disney princess. 2 worlds that were never supposed to collide: basketball, musicals, and science kids. That doesn't mix. These things just don't go together. Stick to the status quo. High School Musical wasn't just a hit, it was a meteor strike. Over 7 million people tuned in on premiere night. 7 million. To put that in perspective, that's more than the population of some countries. Heck, that's more than the amount of students that went to my college. The soundtrack didn't even chart. It just went straight to #1 on the Billboard. Bro, I literally remember having a flip phone and my ringtone on it was a song from High School Musical 2. bet on it, and I thought I was so cool, and I was. We're All in This Together became a global anthem. School dances, talent shows, flash mobs in malls. Suddenly, I mean, everyone knew the choreography. We actually did the dance during my 5th grade graduation. That's how much of a chokehold this movie had on us. I mean, you could walk into any random classroom in 2006 and there was a 70% chance someone was humming Get Your Head in the Game while taking a test to lock in. And just when you thought it couldn't get any bigger, they released step-by-step dance breakdowns during the commercials of like rewatches of the movie, and then they also dropped a karaoke version of the movie so you can annoy your parents when you're singing along in the home. But even better, Disney hit us with High School Musical 2 in 2007, and this one, it wasn't just big, it was monumental. High School Musical 1 premiered with 7 million people. High School Musical 2 premiered with 17.2 million viewers on premiere night. This wasn't just a Disney Channel record, it was a cable television record, and it wasn't hard to see why. I mean, Summer Vacation, poolside performances, Sharpay Evans in full diva mode, and Troy Bolton having a full-on existential crisis while stomping around on a golf course on Bet on It. I mean, I'm convinced he closed his rings during that song. Sharpay was really trying to set Troy up with a basketball scholarship at these great colleges with these great coaches, and Troy wasn't having it. Bro just wanted to dance and sing, and like, I get it, bro, it's okay, you can do both. Gabriella had her little breakup song like they do every movie. Music was iconic again, fabulous. I Don't Dance, Gotta Go My Own Way, Bet on It. The sequel turned the volume way up, and suddenly East High wasn't just a fictional school, it was a global phenomenon. It also being like a summer movie elevated it because, you know, a kid, summer break, that's the best thing ever. Just when you thought Disney couldn't raise the stakes any higher, they went full Hollywood. High School Musical 3 senior year wasn't just a DCOM, it actually was a full movie that got its actual releases in movie theaters, theatrical release. They were in for the big bucks on this one. I had this movie on DVD because I didn't see it in the theaters, and it's okay, not my favorite. I mean, this wasn't Disney Channel anymore, really. It was more like a Disney movie. I mean, look, the movie did make $250 million on probably like a $20 million budget, so it was definitely a success. I can see why they did that. It was also cinematic as hell. Like the opening shot of the movie, it was like, oh, they're not playing. This movie has a budget. The opening shot is like this high, tight shot on Troy's face with like high bokeh during a basketball game. It's crazy. The Wildcats had officially gone global, but you know what I realized is they never showed the musical in the first movie. Troy and Gabriella is auditioning for a musical. Sharpay and they're all auditioning for a musical in the first movie. We never see them practice, do, or perform the musical. They just audition for it. Everyone from the basketball game comes to the auditorium to watch them audition. That was not the musical. That one song is not the musical. Where's the musical? Release the musical. Anyway, let's be real, the impact is still felt today. High schools still do productions of High School Musical, the musical. Those soundtracks still hit hard, and you know that if We're All in This Together comes on at a party, we're gonna do the dance moves. There's no choice, it's in our collective DNA at this point. Disney saw the High School Musical numbers and basically said, run it back with Camp Rock.
For anyone with a future on the stage, there's only one place to spend the summer.
You're going to Camp Rock.
And to get in, they've got to bring the moves.
Holla! Put your hands up!
The sound.
Wow, she's amazing.
And the look.
Which color? They're exactly the same. So you see my dilemma.
But it's best to leave behind
Pop star phenom Shane Gray needs to clean up his act.
the attitude.
I don't want to waste my summer at some camp. Hey, man, we used to love this place.
Hey! Both got classes to teach. Yours starts in 5.
In a place where your friends are your competition.
This is not amateur night.
There's a difference between standing out
How long did you think you could keep your little secret?
and standing alone.
I have no choice. I've got to ban you from the rest of camp activities.
It's just for once, I just wanted to fit in and be popular. Just once.
Do you know what it's like to feel so in the dark?
I heard this girl singing, and it kind of reminded me of the music that I liked.
Hello? Who's in here?
From Disney Channel comes a story about finding your sound and raising your voice.
That's the song.
Starring Joe, Kevin and Nick Jonas.
Group hug. Much better.
And introducing Demi Lovato with Megan Jet Martin and Allison Stoner. It's Disney Channel's most rockin' original movie yet. Camp Rock premieres Friday, June 20th at 8/7 Central.
This was in 2008, and Disney was riding the high of its musical movie empire, so they dialed it up the star power and brought out the big guns. So we had Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers. I'm talking Nick, Joe, and Kevin at the absolute peak of, at that time, their team heartthrob status. The setup was simple but brilliant. A summer music camp for aspiring young stars, complete with rival cliques, talent showcases, and just the right amount of high school drama. Oh, and a very talented producer.
She's really good.
Yeah, Michi Torres, played by Demi Lovato, the shy but talented singer with dreams bigger than her own hometown. And Shane Gray, played by Joe Jonas, the brooding rock star sent to Camp Rock as some sort of punishment, I guess. I don't know what kind of reality Joe Jonas was living in, but if getting sent to a lakefront summer camp where people sing and dance all day is punishment, well, I wish I was punished. The music, bangers, front to back. This is me probably had most of you singing into the bathroom mirror with way too much emotion. Demi Lovato belted that song like her life depended on it. We believed her. Play My Music, the Jonas Brothers said, let me make a full-on concert, and they did not disappoint. That entire camp was bouncing around like they had a mini Coachella for tweens. The movie wasn't just a hit, it was a moment. It pulled in nearly 9 million viewers on its premiere night, making it one of Disney Channel's biggest events for a lot of kids. This was their proper introduction to Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers. And let's be real, the Jonas Brothers were basically the boy band of the late 2000s. They were running radio stations, magazine covers, and preteens' hearts. And Demi, well, Camp Rock put her on the map. No questions, this was the beginning of her Disney domination. Disney saw the hype, and because they know exactly how to milk a good thing, well, we got Camp Rock 2, the final jam, in 2010. The stakes were higher, the songs were even more polished, and now there was a rival camp, because what's more dramatic than one camp, two camps squaring off in a full-on musical showdown? And let's be honest, Introducing Me by Nick Jonas in that sequel, a masterpiece in 3 chords. Camp Rock might not have hit the same box office heights as High School Musical, but it cemented itself as a Disney Channel classic. It gave us stars and it gave us some great songs. By the time Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie premiered in 2009 with 11.4 million people tuning in. To be fair, many people tuned in because this movie was like the show's finale to see who got to become the family wizard. But by then, I mean, the golden age was officially wrapping up. But what a run they had. I mean, there were some great movies. There was even a movie about magic, I think, called Now You See Me, which is also, like, I feel like one of my favorites. Yeah, I know I have a lot of favorites. Now, let's not forget one of the most important parts of DCOM, the experience, the intro. The glowing wand, the Mickey ears, the 4-note jingle. It wasn't just branding, it was ritual. When you heard that sound, you knew something special was about to play. The intro became so iconic, it's still being parodied today. TikToks, memes, YouTube edits, people remember it like it was a part of their childhood routine, because it was. And honestly, Disney knew what they were doing. They turned DCOMs into a brand. Guaranteed you saw the logo, you trusted the vibes, and they delivered. Month after month, year after year. So, what made the golden age of DCOM so iconic? It was the music, it was the fashion, it was the characters, it was the relatability, the sense of magic and possibility, the interesting stories like Luck of the Irish. Like, what is that movie even about? Basketballs and leprechauns? Like, come on. You can't tell me that's a good movie, but then you watch it and it's like, all right, it's a good movie. They made movies where you probably feel like you wouldn't be interested in, but then you watch it and be hooked. Like, Even Stevens' movie is a classic for me. I still watch this till this day. I barely watched the show Even Stevens, but the movie I really like. They made us feel seen and included. These movies weren't just entertainment, they were memories, emotional milestones dressed up as fun little stories. And that's why we still talk about them. That's why we still sing the songs, and that's why we still quote them, because these movies weren't just a part of Disney Channel, they were a part of growing up, our childhood. So now I want to know, what was your favorite Disney Channel movie? Was it Zenon, Halloweentown, the Cheetah Girls, or maybe one of the deep cuts like Family of the Megaplex or Johnny Tsunami? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If you did, you're special. Thank you so much.